Gorr the God Butcher is coming to wreak havoc in the MCU, and we should all be afraid. Most importantly, Thor should be afraid because he is not safe.
Come here.
No, I think I'm having a attack.
Come here. Right here.
Hela and Surtur were strong, and Thor couldn't defeat either of them on his own. So, he'd really have to pull up his socks to take on Christian Bale's god-killing villain, who is probably even stronger than Thanos.
It's not possible.
It is good that Thor will have support from Jane, Valkyrie, Sif, and the Guardians because he is going to need it. He'll need everyone to take on the most dangerous villain of all time. Why is it that Thor should be extremely cautious? Well, let's find out, shall we? Hey there, quirky people. Today we're going to look into the next big villain that the God of Thunder will be taking on in all of his glory. Thor is no puny god. In our past video, we talk about how Thor's latest suit is inspired from Rune King's Thor suit, which is arguably the toughest version of the God of Thunder. But even though Thor will prove to be his strongest self, let me assure you that he hasn't fought any being like Gorr in the MCU till now. I've got a theory for why Gorr could be the most lethal villain we've seen so far. But before that, we'll be looking into his origins, powers, and abilities from the books. Gorr the God Butcher is a rather new villain in the comics, as he isn't even a decade old. He made his debut in Jason Aaron's Thor God of Thunder issue number 1 and became a fan favorite villain instantly. He has a very tragic backstory, as his mother, his soulmate, and children ended up dying. And due to the demise of his loved ones, his belief over gods also died. He thinks that gods do not exist, or else they would have saved his family. He even gets banished from his tribe for thinking and preaching that gods don't exist. But when he finds out about Thor and other living gods, he vows to kill them all as the gods didn't listen to his plea of saving his family. Then he would ultimately go on to possess the all-black Necro Sword, which is one of Marvel's most powerful weapons.
It's not possible.
It is also known as the first symbiote, as Null created it.
What the?
In fact, Gorr got this sword from the symbiote god Null, after witnessing him in a battle with a golden god. Galactus claimed that this sword carved the first dawn from the Stone of the Endless Night. Null made it using the head of a dead Celestial. Now, we all know of a severed Celestial head in the MCU. It came to be called Nowhere, as we saw in the Guardians of the Galaxy. This Celestial head may or may not have been involved in the creation of MCU's version of the Necro Sword. Or maybe the sword was actually used to kill the Celestial. I guess we'll see. In the comics, Gorr does not possess any special powers of his own. He has a couple of masterful abilities. For instance, he is an insanely good combatant with over 3,000 years of experience, and is also a skilled torturer, having tortured literal gods over the years. But all his major powers come from the Necro Sword that he got his hands on. It gives him superhuman strength that might rival that of Thor, or even surpass him. It literally turned out to be Red Bull because Gorr got wings. Sorry, but I'm not sorry.
I'm Batman.
Besides the ability to fly, the Necro Sword allowed him to create all sorts of weapons. He could even create an army of berserkers, made completely out of darkness. So, he could become a one-man army against everyone that will team up with Thor and Jane in Love and Thunder. But the biggest feature of the sword was that it could actually kill gods. Using the sword allowed Gorr to get his title of the God Butcher. So, Thor would be in insane danger taking on the god-killing machine. In the comics, Gorr obviously got the Necro Sword and tries to kill the God of Thunder for good. But Thor ultimately managed to take Gorr down and then banish the Necro Sword into a black hole. Later, King Thor actually brought back the Necro Sword in order to take on Galactus. Well, what if this whole scenario is used within the MCU?
Yes!
Disney has acquired Fox, and now they're looking for ways to bring in the likes of Silver Surfer and Galactus.
Shit!
Thor could use the Necro Sword to fight Galactus later down the line, but he'd only fight the big cosmic villain if he survives in Love and Thunder. I mean, Jane Foster is coming back to become the mighty Thor. So, is it possible that she would be MCU's new Thor after Gorr kills Thor? Chris Hemsworth has claimed that he is not done with his role and would continue to return for as long as possible. He thinks Thor is still very young and could do a lot more.
I'm still worthy.
While we personally agree with this statement, we also cannot trust him 100% on his word.
I'm running out of things to say. Are you ready?
Believing everything that the MCU actors say these days would be a fool's errand. Look what Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland did for the past 2 whole years. Jonathan Majors, Haley Steinfeld, Tatiana Maslany, and several others have lied on record about their MCU roles.
You're making me beat up grass!
So, Hemsworth could also be lying because firstly, why would he spoil the fate of Thor?
Of course. Of course. Of course.
And secondly, I've got a theory for Gorr that could prove himself to be a literal god-killing machine. Not just regular gods, but he could be a killer of celestials. Most of us know that Russell Crowe is coming in Thor Love and Thunder as the great god of thunder, Zeus. His role is pretty short, so it is presumed that Gorr will prove his mettle by killing Zeus. But he couldn't get the title of God Butcher by just killing one Olympian god. I believe that he has been killing Marvel's other gods for years. And these gods are none other than celestials. Ever since Guardians of the Galaxy, we've all been thinking about where the Celestials have been all this time. Now finally, Eternals have given us a part of the answer to this question. They've all been busy creating galaxies upon galaxies and trillions of lives. And because of that, they are also considered as gods in the Marvel Universe. Since Gorr has a bone to pick with all gods, he could have been killing Celestials as well. Arishem even showed us that they've got a crazy vanishing tech that allows them to travel anywhere. So, all this time, Gorr could have been chasing after Celestials and other gods across galaxies, since there are so many of them. Hela the Surtur could have fallen prey to his might. Maybe he could have been the one to sever the head of the Celestial, which is now known as Nowhere. This is just a theory on my part, as it would explain what Gorr has been doing all this time, and it would give us a nice little connection with the Eternals. I believe that, since Thor's strength will be at its peak, Gorr will have to be the strongest villain ever. So, being a killer of Celestials would cover that up. And it would also mean that there would be a 50-50 chance for Thor to perish against Christian Bale's big bad alien. That will keep the fans on the edge of their seats as well. Although, it will be interesting to see how Gorr would have got the Necro Sword, since Null would probably be introduced in Sony's Spider-Man universe instead of the MCU. As always, Marvel will have to make a few changes to his backstory, and maybe even his powers. I hope they don't undermine Gorr with so many other villains to cover in Love and Thunder. Give us your ideas for Gorr's MCU origins in the comments. Also tell us what you feel about Gorr being a celestial butcher. Smash that like button and the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out some more fun content on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!